going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the NBA Slate Starter Podcast. I'm Eric, joined with my buddy Ryan as we break down Tuesday's 4-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings, FanDuel, and our sponsor, Yahoo. So nice to have my boy Rayen Patnaik back in the house. You were missed. You were loved. How is New Orleans, and how is this NBA slate going for you tonight?
It's a loaded question. That's a loaded question.
There's two of them. So two of them.
Yeah, big shout out to FanDuel for putting on an amazing World Fantasy Basketball Championship live final. I had a ton of fun. I've gone to these events as a guest. I've gone as a qualifier. They're a ton of fun. Being able to meet like-minded people, just being able to talk it up with a lot of people you see compete against day in and day out. Meeting the new competitors, meet the people who have a ton of fun. So I want to give a couple shout outs to a couple people. I want to give a shout out to Lippy9, who came up to me and says he listens to our content and whatnot. He came fifth at the FanDuel final.
My guy.
I think for $65,000. But big special shout out to Jesse and his wife Neethi. They were a ton of fun all weekend. We had it was a lovely time. They were a great couple. Shout out to Sacktown. He came 10th. So he had a very nice showing at the live final. He was a ton of fun. And the same old guys were there as usual. You know who they are by now. They definitely take care of business on and off the DFS streets. So it was a ton of fun just to be able to chop it up with a lot of successful guys who've done it at a high level for a long, long time. And DFS is one of those things where people come and go, but the ones who've stuck around for the long haul are truly like the one of ones. Your Awesemos, your Papa Gates, your Chipotle Addicts, your B Criders, all of those guys were there. Giant Squid was there. All those guys have won a ton of money, and they do it at the highest of highest levels, day in and day out. So it was a ton of fun just to chop it up with them, talk about life. We talked about a lot of things non-DFS related, which was a ton of fun. And
did you not see Ship My Money with Ship there or not? He went to Nashville. That's right. You had DraftKings on Friday in Nashville. You had Sunday, FanDuel, New Orleans. It was a hectic weekend, that's for sure. Pretty phenomenal to see both events. And obviously, Ryan got to go to the one I would prefer. Let me just say, FanDuel. I know this is Yahoo sponsored. We love them. We talk about them all the time. Best place to go put your money. But FanDuel knows how to throw a party. There's no question about it. I was fortunate enough to go to Miami for the Fantasy Championship and then the World Baseball Championship in Denver. Both of those were incredible. And then also Super Bowl weekend here in LA. I got invited to go to a Rams experience where I got to meet all of like the greats, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, all of these great former Rams, and got to hang out with them and bring my buddy who is a diehard Rams fan, made his life. So, shout out to FanDuel. They really do know how to throw a party. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Now, the second part of my question. Did you partake in Happy Karl Anthony Towns night?
I did. I was definitely
I knew you would.
I was excited to play some cat. But I'm just not going to win nights when you're going to need both Matisse Thybulle and Isaac Okoro to win. I'm just not going to win on those nights. And
you don't need them. They're 0.3%.
Hey, you play
Okoro's like 2%, but Matisse Thybulle is legitimately 0.3% owned on both sides.
If you got to 3% of Matisse Thybulle, you're winning all the money tonight. So, it would be nice to obviously look back and have them. Do I probably play them at any sort of significant amount? Probably not. Just not what I was going to do. They obviously did their thing. Career high performances are the nights that you need players to win. But Cat, Trae Young put on a show. There's a late night hammer, and potentially the Milwaukee guys might get there. But it was a weird slate. I was a little behind on my research. I actually started my research after lock. It was just because I was behind on stuff. It was a travel day, long nights. I mean, coming home at 4:30 in the morning, back-to-back nights, you're a little behind on your research. So I got to make up for a little lost time. But excited to talk about this 4-game slate. It's going to be a light NBA schedule this week just because of the March Madness kicking off towards the end of the week. And but there's games to be played and contests to be won. So let's ride.
He just does it right off the bat, as if we're going to get to it without me saying, hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. All of those go a long way for us on YouTube. And especially if you're listening to us, hello, Spotify people. Hello, Apple people. If you leave 5-star reviews, those go a very, very long way for us. Make Ryan and I feel good, but most importantly, they allow us to do this podcast next year which I'm pretty sure he wants to do, which I'm pretty sure I want to do. I get to hang out with one of the best people on planet Earth every single night, Sunday through Thursday night, putting together podcasts where I get to talk my favorite sport on earth. That would be the NBA, specifically basketball. But yes, college basketball here as well. We're riding. Michigan's riding. Whoa, Ryan. Michigan.
Yeah, the most dangerous 11 seed ever to play the NCAA tournament.
Why are they in the tournament?
I mean, they can beat anyone in the tournament, and they can also lose to anyone in the tournament. That's the Michigan team for you all season long. But those high volatile teams are the teams that make noise in the tournament. And
like South Dakota State.
They haven't lost a game in 3 months, and they probably have the best NBA prospect that's going to make a lot of noise in the tournament. And what's his name? Boeheim? Oh, not Boeheim. The South Dakota State stud. What's his name?
Oh yeah, no, it's I'm just dropping the ball on this because I should know right off the bat. But South Dakota State is number 1 in 3-point percentage. They're number 1 in 3-point percentage, number 1 as well in field goal percentage for the season. Very excited to be watching them. I've been betting them a lot here. God, that is really going to bug me if I can't think of that name here off the top of my head. I will think of it. We got to figure it out. It's bugging me. Shireman, right?
Isn't that
Shireman? Shireman. Yeah. Thank you. Obviously, I can't type anything in. I've got my hand on a mouse. My keyboard is up here. So yes, Shireman is the name of the man.
He's an absolute bucket. He's an absolute bucket.
Yeah, remember when Dom, though, didn't do anything in the NBA, even though he's still NBA ready right now? Somebody give him a phone call. I could tell you what, the Lakers could use him.
Probably.
What are they down? 33-14 right now.
I haven't looked at any of the bracket or anything. I need the playing games to be done, and then I'll start looking at the bracket.
That's always my Wednesday night. My Wednesday night is like it's devoted to making PGA lineups and filling out every single bracket. I've done that for the last 2 years now since I've had this job. It's a really fun Wednesday night, and we'll be also doing a podcast. So don't you worry, guys. We got Rayen back in the house. What do you want to say?
No, I just want to say there was an amazing game between the Nuggets and Rockets. Shout out to Bones Highland for fulfilling
Nuggets and Sixers.
Nuggets and Sixers game. Shout out to Bones Highland. Busy Bones filled out the home narrative for me as he had 500 people in attendance and he balled out in front of friends and family. Yeah.
I didn't watch a second of that game, unfortunately, because I have a dog and my wife. So my wife's been in Austin for a week and I've just been on daddy daycare. All I do is sit at my computer and work and build lineups and scour everything. I watched a lot of golf here today, but then he needed to go for a walk. So we went on a long walk in this hour and a half time, the 5:30 to 7 time between lock times. Nobody cares about that. Let's get to basketball, shall we? 4-game slate, Ryan, my dude. Good to have you back. You ready to ride, my friend? I said, dude, I'm sorry.
You're going to have to rerun that.
Are you ready to go, my friend?
Let's ride. Yeah, I already had said.
I'm sorry. Did I say dude? Is that why you're upset?
No. I already said let's ride. I can't say it twice in one show.
Okay. Well, then I take away your ride, and now we ride. Here we go. Goal. I don't know. Goal. Guard. We're going to guard. John Morant, 10-6. Top end. This is going to be something we're waiting on. He's doubtful, so that's going to open up crazy amounts of value so long as he is still doubtful when you wake up. Sometimes somebody gets upgraded to questionable or probable. I don't think that's happening here. This is the franchise guy. They're facing the Pacers. I think they can win this game regardless. Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, DeAnthony Melton. God darn it. We have to go look at that guy again. He's maybe the most uncomfortable chalk piece ever, but that's just kind of the slate you've been given, not the slate that you want. Kyrie Irving, 10-2. Booker, 9,600. I think a lot of this slate is going to revolve around a very uncomfortable chalk spot. Everything locks, by the way, between 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern time. Late swap, not really a thing unless CJ McCollum were to be like a late scratch or something where like he gets ruled out later. But considering it's a COVID situation, a health protocol situation, I'm assuming we're going to know very, very early what his status is coming in. You could be looking at tons of value from the Pelicans. You could be looking at no value from the Pelicans. It's going to be one or the other based on McCollum. But looking at the rest of the guard spot up top here, Halliburton is up to 9,300 here. That is just uncomfortable here. We got to be waiting on Brogdon, who got concussed. He's 7,800. Lots of moving parts here on this slate, but it really comes down to Memphis value and possible New Orleans value here. What are you looking at doing here at the top end, Ryan?
The top end's loaded. I mean, obviously, there's up top, you got freshly fined 50K Kyrie Irving priced all the way up at 10-2, taking on an Orlando team.
His fit the other day was one of the greatest fits in the history of fits. And this is somebody that obviously he's a crazy person, but did you see his outfit? Him cheering Kevin Durant on that 60 piece?
I did see the outfit. He was sitting courtside wearing like that white coat with I wonder what designer it was. I have no idea. But
if anybody would know, you would. That's why I was wondering. Continue on.
Yeah, no, I'll have to look it up what he was wearing. But Kyrie, we know 10-2. We've seen it already happen. When he's playing, they're rolling him out for high 30s minutes just to keep him conditioned in game shape. He's fine. He's fantastic. Devin Booker was amazing. $9,600. He continues to ball out. I think it's still $1,000 too cheap for D-Books the way he's playing without Chris Paul. You get the likes of McCollum and Halliburton. If McCollum goes on the other side, you're going to have interest because it's going to be his show. He might shoot the ball 30 times. Halliburton continues to be impressive. It's not going to be as appealing a spot if Brogdon's going to play at 7,800, but Halliburton has the upside there. He's going to be low owned out of this bunch, and that's the only thing that's going to be going for him. In a Memphis spot, he doesn't have to. It's going to be a good game environment whenever Indy's there. Looking at Cade Cunningham, he's now priced up to 8,300. A wave that I've been riding. He was one of the highest owned players in the FanDuel final, I believe, and it paid off for those guys. $8,300. Miami spot obviously doesn't help, but Cade has been very impressive of late. Kind of showed the reason why he was the unanimous number one pick heading into the draft. And obviously now spending down, no John Morant. You got to target the likes of Dylan Brooks, 4,900. Tyus Jones, 3,400. DeAnthony Melton, 4,500. In terms of preference, I would probably go Tyus Jones, Dylan Brooks, DeAnthony Melton in that order. I also think the ownership will be in that order as well. So do with what you want. And I'm guessing 8, 10, 9 hours. 15 hours before the slate starts. So a long ways to go. A lot of things can change, but a 4-game slate, those guys look like outstanding value pieces.
All right, we head to FanDuel top end is John Morant 10-6. He's doubtful. Do not play him. Kyrie Irving 10K going up against Orlando. Appealing that you get the shooting guard eligibility as well, although most of the time on FanDuel, it doesn't really matter. A lot of them do. You can kind of piece it together. Tyrese Halliburton, 8,800. I'm also looking at a guy here in Devin Booker who's up to 10-4 against New Orleans. It was crazy how many people rostered him. 57.4 fantasy points in 31 minutes. Still absent Chris Paul, and Cameron Payne is not exactly a 1-for-1 for Chris Paul. I think that's just kind of a fascinating spot. 9,600 for Booker, I love over on DK, but at 10-4, is that still somebody that you'll ride with on FanDuel, Ryan, on a 4-game slate? And talk to me about the rest of the position.
Yeah, I will. I think whenever the guy has an upside to be the highest scoring player on the slate, he's definitely needs to be considered. So Devin Booker has done that time and time again, especially without Chris Paul. You got to look there. Looking up top here, 10K, Kyrie, he's going to be low on. The upside's there. Halliburton much more favorably priced at 8,800. You got a Cade Cunningham at 7,400. I like that a lot here. Campaign a little too expensive at 7K, but continues to produce at a high level. His assist numbers have been amazing. But it's tough to move away from the Memphis guys here yet again. You got the likes of Tyus Jones, 4,200. Looking around at the other point guards here. Jumping over to the shooting guard side, obviously Dylan Brooks comes in at 5K, looks outstanding. Up top, you have the likes of Jimmy Butler. We haven't seen a Jimmy Butler explosion game against Detroit. Seems like a get-right spot for Butler if he's going to go. CJ McCollum is outstanding at $8,500 if he's going to play. I'll have a ton of interest in him. I believe he's been able to keep some sort of conditioning up while he's gone away, just like in isolation. But we'll see if if Willie Green comes out and says if they're going to be on some sort of minutes limit. But 8,500. We touched on McCollum. He's just going to shoot the ball at a very high volume. And DeAnthony Melton, $5,000. And Memphis is going to be very popular, but rightfully so.
Rightfully so is right. Give me all the Tyus Jones and all the land. Devin Booker, 4,300 over on the Yahoo slate. Kyrie Irving, $40. We've got McCollum, 39 if he goes. Tyrese Halliburton, 34 is way too cheap. If there's going to be no Brogdon, we should know that news considering it's the first game of the slate. Well, you've got two that start at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Then you have Detroit and Miami at 7:30 and Phoenix at New Orleans at 8. So really tight game windows. I talked about that already, but just reiterating, pay attention to that Brogdon news right from the get-go. And I really like Halliburton the most out of any site over on Yahoo at that $34 number. Cameron Payne, $25. I mean, he's kind of a fascinating guy. 11 assists in just 24 minutes of play. That's the kind of guy Cameron Payne is going to be here. When you have Chris Paul as a mentor, when you had him running the second unit for this team for 2 years, when he's a great fantasy point per minute producer, just, one coming off of the bench, just 1.00 fantasy points per minute. There's a lot of opportunity there. Even at $25, I think that might be another sneaky spot, but you do get Kyle Lowry there at $23. I think that might be the spot where I really fire him up. What sticks out to you on Yahoo compared to DraftKings and FanDuel?
Yeah, looking up here at Yahoo, lots and lots of Memphis value yet again. But the up top guys, you do get your Kyrie, you have your Devin Booker. You guys are fine, but Cade Cunningham's still very, very priced at 31. I like going to him. I think looking a little bit lower here, and you have the likes of Tyus Jones. Markelle Fultz was very impressive in limited minutes of play, but I would shy away a little bit. It's going to be tough to move off of Devontae Graham. If CJ McCollum is out at $13, you're going to have a lot of interest going there. I would shy away from Jose Alvarado's performance, but Alvarado is an excellent defender, does pick up steals at a very high level. It's kind of a DeAnthony Melton light type of situation, who is how I look at Jose Alvarado. Melton also an excellent steals guy himself. Priced appropriately here at $14, not that much interest in DeAnthony Melton. It's going to be the Tyus Jones show, and finding value to spend up for those guards of like a Devin Booker or a Kyrie or a Halliburton make a lot of sense.
Also, what makes a lot of sense, my friend? Going to Yahoo, signing up, getting 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum if you have not checked out their product, which if you're listening to this podcast, I'm assuming most of you have gotten tired of me talking about Yahoo and have signed up by now. And then you're realizing, oh my God, Eric was right. You absolutely need to be playing over there all the time because of the lowest rake. Rayen, he's just a guy that has been building his bankroll up because of Yahoo, because it's the lowest rake anywhere you're going to find in the entire industry. And now, when you sign up, you also get that free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. We've been running this promotion for a couple months now, and it's still ridiculous that it still exists. So if you're one of the few people who are listening right now who haven't signed up though over there, just take my word today. This is the best site you can play, point per dollar, period, end of story, non-negotiable and not close. They have a great 25-cent contest. You can make 135 lineups in that. You can only play 20 over on DraftKings in the quarter. On FanDuel, yeah, you can play the 5 cent, the 25 cent, and do whatever else you want over there. But on Yahoo, you're paying only 11 or 12% rake to play it, as opposed to 16, 17% rake over on that FanDuel contest. So stop guessing, start winning. Join us here at Awesemo, but do it through the best site you can play on for your money. That is Yahoo. Thank you so much to their sponsorship of the Slate Starter, but also just thank you for making contests that are great for players like Rayen, players like myself. No matter what your bankroll is, you have an opportunity to make great money over on Yahoo. That was the best rate I've ever done for Yahoo in my entire life. But also, I do mean every single word of it. It was the best site that I played on the other night with Trey Murphy III. Thought I'd bring him up, considering you're the person who put that idea in my mind on Friday, and I took all the credit for it. I'm just calling myself out quick. How does it feel?
Oh yeah, you needed the engagement. You needed the engagement farmers to come to your land, and follow Eric Lindquist. He needs it. He needs all the love he can get for taking Trey Murphy and just running with it. I
know is if it didn't work out, I'm also the guy who gets torched, and you get none of that. So,
I mean, you didn't have to say it the way you had to say it. You didn't have to put yourself out on a limb. It worked out.
I also gave you a shout out on the Live Before Lock show and said that it was a Bryn Pack special.
Oh, okay. I mean, it didn't seem like it on social.
If you've watched the clip again, what do I say at the very beginning? Just listen to it again. at the end of this show, of course, because I need you for 2 more positions here. Forward, that was awkward the way that came across. Kevin Durant is 11-1 at the top end going up against Orlando. Did you see that he put up 60 actual points or 53 actual points? Sorry, I said 60 twice now, but it's because Cat put up 60 tonight. And I'm so content with my Minnesota Timberwolves. There are really no words. Kevin Durant put up 53, put up 77.5 fantasy points against the Knicks. That seems pretty good. Against Orlando on the road, yeah, I'm still going to roster him. Jimmy Butler there is 8,600. We got Cade Cunningham, 8,300. We talked about him already. Buddy Hield, 7,500. Ya boy. Wendell Carter, 7,400, coming off of a great game, 48.5 fantasy points, even alongside Mo Bamba for a lot of that. Jaren Jackson Jr., the most frustrating person on planet Earth, but I got to think he benefits still because of more opportunities in the absence of John Morant. I like a lot over here at the top end of forward. I think it gets a little hairy here. But my main guy I want to ask you a question about before we lead into this position, Marvin Bagley interest, ya boy, in a tough Miami spot.
See, looking at the forward spot, right? We're already spending down.
You're just like, I'll avoid that question and start somewhere else than Marvin Bagley. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm just going to do that just because.
Yeah, do that.
I think looking at the forward spot here, right? We're going to be dealt with the situation with Memphis. So my eyes immediately would rather go to the likes of Jaren Jackson Jr. at 6,500. Everyone eats against Indy. It's just a thing. People just destroy Indy night in and night out. It's a great fantasy environment for the opposition. I'd rather play a guy like him and just take my chances with Memphis. John Morant being gone is a big deal. So looking around up top, 11-1 KD. Kyrie's going to be back in the mix. 11-1. I want to be under the field on an 11-1 Kevin Durant and against an Orlando team. Yeah, can KD do it? For sure. There's no denying that, but he's going to need to do all. Needs to be the highest scoring player on the slate by a significant amount. I feel like to pay off an 11-1 price tag with a 4-game slate. Looking a bit lower, you do get a very impressive showing from Wendell Carter Jr. I'd shy away a little bit against Brooklyn. I just think the recency bias will be there after an amazing game against Embiid the other night. It's just the Memphis guys stick out. I mean, it's tough not to love them. You can even consider Brandon Clark at 4,400 against Indiana. He can definitely get there for you. Dylan Brooks is going to potentially take up a forward spot at 4,900. It's seems like getting a little too cute if you shy away from Memphis tomorrow. It's going to be a Memphis loaded slate. And there's other guys who've been really solid, likes of Jalen Smith. He's 5,500. We'll see what the situation with Duarte is tomorrow. That might open up a lot of other value for Indiana. The likes of a $3,200 Terry Taylor's there. Things can definitely open up if Indiana's going to be shorthanded with 8 guys again. But I expect some of those guys to return in a Memphis matchup. Just looking at the Vegas totals, I believe that game's checking in at have they released Vegas totals for that game yet? Check.
I will tell you because there are black market ways. Which one are you looking for?
Memphis.
Nope,
Indiana.
only have one total. We have Brooklyn, Orlando, 231. Okay. That is at Shmem.
Okay. And Pinnacle might have them up. Let's see.
Okay. Well, then you're just going to say the site? Okay. If we're just going to say site names, then it doesn't matter. YouTube algorithm. Hello, everybody. Yeah, Pinnacle, they don't care, but Shmem. We'll do it that way. Waiting.
Oh,
I don't know. While you're looking that up, we've got Dylan Brooks. It was nice to see 26 minutes right out of the gate. On a different slate than what we had on Sunday, I would have gotten to a ton. Like I was way overweight, but then Indiana had 8 active players, and I just played a lot of them instead. That worked out. I hope you did the same. But we're looking at that spot. Dylan Brooks, 4,900. I'm going to have a lot of him.
I didn't have to play Sunday slate.
I know, but I did. What? I'm saying Dylan Brooks played on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm saying I didn't play Sunday slate.
Oh, I did. Dylan Brooks played 26 minutes, and it was great because I thought he was going to play a lot of minutes, but I also played 0% because I went from having like 35% to 0 when I had to play all the Terry Taylor, Isaiah Jackson, and Jalen Smith that I could possibly handle, and that became all of my value.
Gotcha.
Good talk. Glad we had it. To FanDuel we go, my friend. To the forward spot up top there. Kevin Durant is 11-2. Jimmy Butler's 8,500. We've got Wendell Carter 6,800. That's way too cheap, even against Brooklyn there. Mikal Bridges 6,600 we're looking at in this spot. But Jaren Jackson Jr. 6,400. Going to be crazy popular. We're going to have to be paying attention to this Pacers news because obviously there's still no Miles Turner. Goga Batadze, it's so weird how much this matters. But him being questionable, even though I don't really have a lot of interest, well, zero interest in 5,600 over on FanDuel, it just matters so much in terms of how much Isaiah Jackson and Jalen Smith you can possibly stomach. Jalen Smith closed out the game, played 27 minutes, put up 40 fantasy points. Isaiah Jackson started. I had the most of him. He had 27 minutes, 37 fantasy points. They both smashed. It was a pretty negligible difference. You kind of needed the other pieces. You needed one of those two. They were at pretty much the identical price, but same kind of a deal where I expect one of them to outperform the other, and you're going to want a lot of both if there's no Goga, because I would assume they're starting, the Isaiah Jackson's going to start, and Jalen Smith's just going to have to play a lot of minutes behind him there. But that's kind of me quickly breaking down the forward spot on FanDuel. What sticks out to you, my friend?
Yeah, just, looking at the forward spot, I believe the Lakers have gone 0 for 16 from 3 to start this game.
It took you a second. There was a pause where you're like, what the hell is going on? They're down 17 again. And now LeBron James is back in for the last 3.5 minutes because they just can't stomach watching this anymore. So bad.
Yeah, I mean, the forward spot it's Dillon Brooks, 5K. I mean, it's tough not to play him at that spot. There's Desmond Bane at 6,600. He might be the lowest on of the Memphis guys just because of the way the value and positionality is presenting itself for tomorrow's slate. Bouncing around a little bit. You do not want to fall on popular Herbert Jones. He was the highest owned player in the live final, and he disappointed 70% of the field. So
that's so great.
Yeah.
Why was he the highest owned?
I was pretty shocked to see that.
Herbert Jones.
I was pretty shocked to see that. I had no idea he was going to be the highest owned.
How would Najee Marshall not be higher owned at what, 3,900 is what he was on the live final day?
I'm not sure. I didn't even look at anything like that day. I just was taking
Najee Marshall was 3,900 and he's 5,100 for this slate. And now our boy Trey Murphy's back in play at 4K in a blowout spot.
Yeah, I think I took my Trey Murphy. It was fun to play Trey Murphy for the first time since the summer league, so I enjoyed playing Trey Murphy.
And you're probably not going to play him for another 2 years.
No, I'll probably play him in the summer league again.
Oh, I'm playing him tomorrow. Don't worry. He's 4K. Blowout. Phoenix goes up 30. Who plays all the fourth quarter run? Him.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely in play to do. Actually, the more I think about it, Herb Jones will be low on because of how awful he was, but I can't. I never play him. I'm always under the field on a guy like Herb Jones for a reason. It's probably that has probably worked out better than more times than not. But I think Isaiah Jackson is fine to go to at 5,700 in that game environment. If they're going to be shorthanded, you can definitely go to him. Jeremy Grant, 5,800. He always has the upside to put up 40 fantasy points at that price tag, so you should consider him if possible. Isaiah Stewart might return tomorrow, I believe. So he's 5K. And circling back at your Marvin Bagley question, if Bagley's out of play at 5,300, if Isaiah Stewart is going to play, tough to go there in any sort of confidence as those minutes might not get over 20 minutes if Isaiah Stewart's going to play. But that can change. If Stewart's out, Bagley's a tournament dart, nothing a priority by any means. It's a kind of a minute split with him and Olynyk kind of all over the place, so it's tough to go there in any confidence.
Isn't it crazy that Isaiah Stewart is okay? Like, I thought he was done for like a year after that knee injury.
Oh, I never saw the injury, no.
Yeah, I thought he was done. It was like a non-contact thing, I believe, from what I remember. And he's like, fine. 4 games later, he's ready to go. That's awesome. I'm just happy for him. Strong.
That's good. Yeah. He's a high energy guy. He's very plays with a chip on his shoulder. He likes getting people riled up on the opposition. He's got it into LeBron. He's gotten into ruffles with everybody in the league. Giannis, Embiid, and DeMarcus Cousins, and LeBron James. He's He's not shy whatsoever.
No, he's not. No, he's not. But I'm happy he's okay because I do enjoy watching him play the game of basketball. He's a psychopath. I enjoy that about people. Forward spot, Kevin Durant, 52, Jimmy Butler, 36, Wendell Carter, 28. Very, very different discrepancies there. But Dylan Brooks and Jaren Jackson Jr. specifically at $24. I mean, Dylan Brooks probably won't be that popular at 24. I still don't know those minutes. I mean, you can maybe get 30 and he's still probably all right there. Small forward. You got Jimmy Butler. You got Buddy Hield. You got some guys there. But looking specifically there, Jaren Jackson Jr. at 24 is just a smash. I definitely actually prefer Buddy Hield now that I'm just kind of talking through it out loud. 39 and a half minutes. I mean, he's just a different role, different situation there. Like him a lot more than I like Dylan Brooks at the small forward position for around the same number, or at the same number in this case. But looking down, O'Shea Brissett has been in that starting unit, played 29 minutes, 24 fantasy points. He's not quite the asset that he was last year from a fantasy perspective, but he's all right to take shots on. Jalen Smith, Jackson Hayes, Najee Marshall will all be super, super popular at the forward spot here further down. I mean, Yahoo, it's a little bit too cheap here. I feel like this is going to be a spot we find some value. Going to be hard to get to Kevin Durant when you have so much value here at the forward spot, and then you've got guys like Booker, Kyrie that are underpriced at guard, but there's always a reason you should go get Kevin Durant, and that's if he's going to be low on. You just play him a lot. But who are your favorite pieces for Yahoo, Ryan?
Looking at the forward spot, it's gross. Jaren Jackson Jr. probably at $24. And then you can definitely take your chances on Kyle Anderson. But yeah, it's gross. It seems like you can definitely spend up for Jimmy Butler at 36 or Wendell Carter 28 and Buddy Hield at 24. Kind of a gross spot. Just the way the slate is. It seems like Jaren Jackson Jr. will be popular, but rightfully so.
I just woke my dog up from puppy dreams with that laugh. Oh, he's so cute tonight. It's fine. Don't mind me. Yeah,
he's massive now, right?
He's what?
He's massive now, right? He's a big dude.
Oh, dude. So we got him. He was 18 pounds, and he fit underneath our front seat because we had to fly back with him from Iowa. Good times. That was very difficult. But we got back. He's 42 pounds now.
Damn, he's going to need his own jet.
Exactly 6 weeks. He's going to need his own jet. Hopefully, if we could get him Instagram famous, we could do that ourselves. You know what I mean? Just get that jet for him. I think I'll take his residuals, though.
We should show the Slate starter how Duke is looking right now. Can you grab him? Can you lift him up?
No, he's sleeping hard. Let me try this. I've never actually moved the screen. Can you see him there?
Oh,
he's asleep as hell, but he woke up for a second there. Look at him. Look at that little guy.
Hit the like button, and the more likes we get, maybe we can get Duke to Bernie a private jet sooner than later. That'd be very nice for us. 5-star reviews was going even longer. Yeah.
If we could have got a Sam Burns W, he would have got the fancy kibble, but alas, he's back to just the regular pre-arena. Poor guy, Sam Burns. PGA Championship, or sorry,
your dog's health.
The Tour Championship.
Your dog's health and his food depends on Sam Burns.
It did. Well, the Players Championship, TPC Sawgrass, it was a bonkers golf tournament, but he was watching with me. He was watching with me this morning as I was doing my NBA prep, and poor little guy. Man, those paws are just gigantic. He's the best. Also, my wife needs to get home fast because I am very tired. To the center spot we go. It's a full-time job, y'all. It's a full-time job. And you dog dads, you all know what I'm talking about. To the center spot we go. Jonas Valanciunas, 8,600, the most expensive center here. Bam Adebayo, a lot more appealing when you didn't have Jimmy Butler in there for a couple of games. Well, Jimmy Butler's there. He's still shown some massive upside from time to time. I mean, 60 fantasy points against Cleveland, absent Jared Allen. So that seems pretty good. 8,200, contrarian piece. But DeAndre Ayton going up against the Pellies and Jackson Hayes and Jonas Valanciunas. This is a guy I just want to be invested in. And Greg Ehrenberg has kind of like changed the way that I've looked at Ayton just in terms of his rates. Look at some of the stuff as far as Chris Paul being out, and DeAndre Ayton just eats up a little bit more usage, even alongside Devin Booker. So 7,300. I think he's kind of an intriguing piece. I'm very excited to hear your Andre Drummond take, because if we can get 27 minutes from him a night at 5,800, I would just play him every single day until forever. Mo Bamba's hard to get a gauge on. Isaiah Stewart's super cheap on DraftKings at 4,500. Lots of spots to take shots at here at center. Ryan, help me figure it out.
Yeah, the opportunity cost at center is probably Valanciunas at 8,600, and that's whatever. It's fine. You don't have the likes. Today we had the trio studs up top, so we don't have to worry about that. The mid tier, I mean, there's Bam, 8,200. Might be low owned, but you like the upside for him. DeAndre Ayton continues to play really well. I like him, $7,300. Bouncing around, Drummond, yeah, $5,800 in his Orlando spot. You gotta hope he gets the high 20s minutes just to give you a shot. Spending down a little bit. You can definitely consider Brandon Clark here, but Steven Adams, 5,800. Would you rather play Adams or Drummond at 5,800?
Drummond. I have to play Drummond, right? I know Adams. Look, like Adams without Morant, it's still kind of been the Adams that's been doing this for the last however long. Like the usage isn't exactly going to spike. He's still going to, he gets Dylan Brooks for 28 minutes. That's pretty annoying in terms of usage. He's still going to be rebounding the ball at a high clip no matter what. He averages 9.8 on the season. That's not going to take some substantial jump up with John Morant. It's kind of an interesting question. I mean, 5,800 for him. I don't think he benefits enough. Like, I don't see his minutes getting up to like 32 absent John Morant. Do you? I'm really uncomfortable by this question. It's got to be Andre Drummond.
Yeah, I'll take my chances with Drummond. I think Drummond can get you 15 and 15. Yeah, well, Adams is showing that too. We'll see what the ownership comes in at. If Adams can be,
that's a good. I mean, that's the tiebreak. But Adams, because of all the other Memphis popular guys, people sometimes cap 3 max across the board. You might not get to much Adams. It's kind of like the Zubac scenario from today. He was like 6% around the industry.
Wow. Overtime.
Zubac overtime. Well, I mean, he had like 45 or something going before overtime. He played great.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but you're going to need Cat. You're going to need Cat.
Ryan, different slates or different strokes for different folks. That's what it is. Different slate. I'm just saying that, like, you couldn't have felt bad if you played Zubac today. Like, you shouldn't, like, look back at that and say, oh, my process was terrible that I played a 6% Zubac absent Marcus Morris. And Reggie Jackson. Oh, and Robert Covington.
I think I disagree there for a situation.
I played
it's a matchup against Cleveland. I mean,
don't definitely.
I mean, Evan Mobley is as stud of a defender as it gets, but I just I didn't like paying up for that expensive of a Zubac.
You know what I also didn't like, Matt, Mike, I was about to say Mike, but you know what else I didn't like? Mike Conley, and he's got 36 fantasy points now with 6 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah, Mike Conley is going to get hot. He had played the 3 worst games, he had the worst 3-game stretch of his career shooting wise, and he's a good shooter. He was going to turn around, but yeah, I mean, the Zubac thing was just, I looked at it. I was like, that's the one guy I think on the Clippers I'd want to be away from. I mean, it didn't work out for me. I mean, if the likes of Mason Plumlee are going to drop a triple-double, it's going to work out for that situation. But I mean, I nailed the studs. I just didn't nail the right value. I nailed the studs. I had the combination studs, but I just did not nail the value. Seems like what's going to end up happening on this slate. But looking over, I'm just going to hop over to the FanDuel centers.
Let's do it.
Look at the FanDuel centers up top. You do have Bam. 9,200 is expensive for Bam. Drummond here is only $5,500. I like him here. Jaren Jackson, you can also play the center spot. DeAndre Ayton, 76. These guys are all in play. You can spread your ownership throughout the top and bottom. Valanciunas, 8,200. Yeah, you can definitely go from top to bottom, and they all look like solid tournament options. Mo Bamba's a little sketchy for me just because the minutes are up and down. A couple guys entering the rotation, leaving the rotation. Kind of just messing around with the way they run the rotations. It's been annoying for this Orlando team to really nail down properly. So yeah, it's the Jaren Jackson at 6,400. You're going to have a ton of interest in, I think.
Yep. I think Jaren Jackson, play him quite a bit. 6,400, where you can play these power forward centers over on DraftKings and FanDuel. Play a lot of them back and forth there because, again, I don't think the opportunity cost is crazy at center. I just think there's a lot of guys I want to take shots on. But over on Yahoo, strict positionality, center only. Obviously, point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. You can only play them at those positions, and then the guard forward utility. So you can play two centers. Bam Adebayo is $36. Jonas Valanciunas, $29. I think that'll be popular. $28 DeAndre Ayton, that should be popular. But Steven Adams, $22. Andre Drummond, $21. Another spot where, hey, maybe I don't have to pick one. I can play both there at $22 and $21. Maybe kind of do a dual lineup there. Isaiah Jackson's 19, center only over on that slate. That's a little bit different of a spot. There's really nothing underneath Mo Bamba or Isaiah Jackson specifically. I don't know if I'll go under $19 at center. Is there anybody there at the cellar that looks good to you, or is it going to be top heavy for you to round it out on Yahoo?
Yeah, FanDuel. Yahoo. You gotta have to look up top here. I mean, Valanciunas at that price tag, sub 30, makes a ton of sense. As does DeAndre Ayton. Drummond's okay, not as appealing as those two other guys there up top. So those two guys definitely lead the way. If we want to spend down a little bit, there is Brandon Clark and Isaiah Jackson. And if there is no Isaiah Stewart, I think Kelly Olynyk is in play at $12. If trying to get a little some value in, it can definitely work out with a guy like Olynyk at 12. We've seen him get hot in limited minutes. Sometimes all he does need is 20 minutes, and he can pay off that price tag on a 4-game slate.
And that's it. You were burping too. I mean, we both just had dinner. That's how it works, right?
That is it. Yeah.
Dude, it's so good to have you back. I just missed this face. I missed the smile. Everybody else did too. Hit that like button for Ryan as we round this thing out. Sub 45 minutes. That's good by our standards, even on a 4-game slate. We could have probably sped it up, but you know what else? I know there's only one game on Thursday. That'll be a fascinating show. We're going to just have to dance or sing, or you know what? Put in the comment section below what you want Ryan to sing live. Karaoke on the 1-game slate for Thursday. And not only that, I think it's Orlando and Detroit is the only game on Thursday. Not that I look ahead at these things very often, but what the hell is the NBA doing scheduling that game for a Thursday? Yeah.
It's because of March Madness.
I know.
It's because of March Madness.
Yeah, so they throw the two worst teams on planet Earth out there to do nothing?
No, they just because there's probably some TV rights deal because it's Thursday nights is the TNT thing, and TNT has the rights to the March Madness
NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
So NBA TV, Orlando, Detroit, buckle up, y'all. Showdown season. That'll be fun. Ryan, any final words for the people as we get out of here?
Yeah, I think we're nearing a significant number of reviews. I think we wanted to get up to 50 5-star reviews on the Apple Podcast. If we could do that, that'd be fantastic. Your support has been great all season long. The numbers have been amazing for you guys to keep watching us night in, night out. Thanks so much for the support. It's been a fun ride. So 5 stars would be amazing.
He's Ryan. Go Blue. I'm Eric. Go Duke. And Iowa State. I mean, I went there. I should cheer for them too. We'll see you guys later.